DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
There we go. Now the camera comes up. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a lovely Monday morning. We are joined this morning by Jake Jacobsen. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Doing well. Catching up after a weekend of getting out and doing things, and wow, Monday comes quick.
It sure does. Does indeed.
Oh man! After we had a big street dance for those who follow my personal Facebook page, which we were just talking about those. It was my first in 32 years of DJing. It was my first rain where I had to actually pick up and move on an outdoor event because of rain.
Wow. At 32 years, you've never had to do that.
I've never.
And you're like me. I've got 32 years too. I'm
yeah.
at 32 myself.
And it's amazing. We both started DJing when we were 6. It's incredible.
Yeah, I wasn't even born when I started DJing. I'm only 32. I'm actually 29.
Oh, exactly. That's how it works. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. If you're joining us out on Facebook or on YouTube, we are transmitting to both of those this morning. Yay, rah, rah. Everything seems to be working. So this morning we're going to be talking about the upcoming DJ Expo. 3 weeks, Jake.
I know.
My gosh.
Getting close. It's getting close.
Last time we talked, it's like, it's forever away.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. I really have been spending my time just saying, how did Mike Walter do this every year? It's quite the undertaking. It's huge.
For those of you who don't know, Jake's going to be doing the evening events, which in the past Mike Walter had been working with and helping to produce. So Jake's kind of taken that part of the baton and has running forward. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But Jake, DJ Expo coming up. We'll just kind of give people an overview for those who have never heard of or haven't experienced it. Why should they go to such an event?
Are you talking about the night events or the whole
Expo? The whole Expo, and then we're going to focus. Then we're going to go down to the night events.
Okay, it's funny. I've been getting a lot of calls and emails from people who were interested in the contest, and when I talk to them, they have never been to the Expo at all. And I've been spending a lot of time recently talking about the Expo, and for myself, and I think I'm probably the poster boy for somebody who's gotten something out of the Expo. When I left my old DJ company in 2003, I had heard about DJ Times. I had never experienced DJ Times, but I'd heard about it. There was this conference down in Atlantic City that people went to, and really all I thought it was a bunch of new equipment that you could buy. And I didn't know, I knew there were seminars, but I didn't know anything about them. And I figured that every one of the presenters had to suck because, I knew everything. I was, so freaking cool. And it's sad to say that this is only 14 years ago, and I'm 51, so I should have known better at 34 years old. But I don't know if my math was there. No, my math was terrible on that, and I was 37. So I should have known better, but I really didn't know. And then I went to my very first DJ Times in 2003, and I made it a point to meet as many people as I could. And that's a big part of the experience. If you're going to go there and not meet people, then it's kind of worthless. But I made the conscious decision that I was going to meet people. I was going to go to the seminars. I was going to shake as many hands as I could. I was going to make as many new friends as I could, because the DJ company that I had been working for was very secluded and kept to itself. So I didn't know any DJs. It's so funny. I mean, I'd seen Mike Walter at a couple of bridal shows, but I'd never talked to him. And here he is, one of the biggest companies in the state. And I hardly knew of Elite. I didn't know they had so many DJs. And I go to this thing in 2003, and as you can imagine, my mind was completely blown. I had never seen this many DJs. I could not believe that there were people giving seminars. And I started talking to people in the halls. And I remember going to see Randy Ray do her mitzvah seminar and her game seminar, which I would wind up taking over. I wound up seeing Mike do a seminar on bridal shows. I went to so many seminars, and I can't remember all of them from that first year because I've been to so many over the years. But I remember my mind was completely blown. And the reason is because I think one of the things that blew me away was that the shared experience factor. There are people out there's a lot of DJs who don't go to these expos because they think they know it all.
Right.
And, so what if you do? You are the Nostradamus of DJs. But to share your experiences with other people who understand your day-to-day, things, your victories, your frustrations, the things that you do to make successful events. And I remember meeting a bunch of new friends that first year and sitting in chairs. And I remember going to bars and having lunch with them and just exchanging ideas on, things that they did in their performances, things that they did in their business, their marketing ideas, their sales ideas, gear that they had and what they liked. And I just sat there going, I've never thought of any of this stuff. And I just remember having my head explode right off my shoulders. And I mean, I put myself out there, and that's why I was very successful. And I kept putting myself out there. And I guess that's kind of why I've gotten to where I am now, because I love people and I love the business so much. And I guess that shows. But for people who've never been to the expo before, the things that you're going to get if you experience it correctly and put yourself out there is you're going to find new ideas, you're going to find new friends, and you're going to find ways of thinking about things that you've never thought about before, whether it comes from the seminars or the ever important networking in the halls. And as I might say, probably most importantly, Monday and Wednesday night, there's ideas galore as far as the performance aspect. And even my game seminar is loaded with cool new ideas for people to do. I've had people tell me that, because my seminar is basically on games. We have some dances in there, but it's a lot of games. And there's people who tell me, well, I don't do games. I don't play games, at my events, so I don't need to go to your game seminar. And I always say, you gotta think of it from a performance aspect. There are some of the best performers in the world of DJing, and find out how they connect with the people, sitting in those chairs. If you can connect with other DJs, people who are going to be highly critical of your posture, your speaking voice, where you hold the microphone, how you move with the microphone and get your point across to other DJs. You're sitting there looking at people who are utter professionals who are willing to put themselves out there and show you something that you might not know.
Right.
Just for the performance aspect of it, it's worth going to. When we do the game seminars now, I love the games. I love watching the games, but I love watching the presenters actually present the material. And you can see who the real polished guys are and who the ones who've been doing it a long time. And, I like to give people their shot. And, if you go to one of my game seminars, it's not always the really well-known speakers across the country. I love to find the guys who have an idea and who've never gotten to express that, who've never gotten to be able to get up in front of their fellow DJs. And I love being able to give them that opportunity to show off what they know. So I do like that a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is always kind of a cool thing. That's why back in the early days of Mobile Beat and going out to some of the other conventions where they had those nights where they would just get, as you say, basically people who were new or had an idea and they would share. And sometimes you had gold, and sometimes you found out that, as you say, they weren't very polished, they weren't that good at it, but they had their 30 seconds on stage.
And, well, sometimes, and what was it? Any knowledge is good. Sometimes you learn what not to do. Well, learning what not to do is also helpful.
Very much so. Very much so. So let's talk about, you mentioned, of course, the game seminar, but you talked about Monday and Wednesday nights. And that's really what we wanted to kind of focus on with today's show is a little bit, because it's going to have a little bit different flavor than it has in the past.
It is definitely going to be different as far as the presentation style is going. A lot of it's going to be very familiar, but there's going to be some tweaks to it that, I didn't want to completely reinvent the wheel. I love what Mike did. I can't say enough great things about Mike, and he knows how I feel about him. Uh, but it just like little cool changes. And it's funny. I was out with Mike telling him all these little things I did. He was going, "Yeah, that's a great idea. I never thought of doing it that way." So it's a matter of making little tweaks that just to change how the perception is between things. And I gotta be honest though, I actually still have a couple. We're 3 weeks out. I still have a couple spots left in the competition, and I'm really disappointed in that. I have to be honest. I have turned away a few. I will admit that you know there were a few applications that I hate to say just really weren't up to snuff.
Right.
But the level of the pure amount, I'm a little disappointed in, because I can't. This is the very first opportunity to be the first entertainer of the year. Um, made sure that we had I went to DJ Times, and I really pushed them to get some amazing prizes, and DJ Times delivered. Yeah, I told them all the stuff I wanted to do to make this, special and different. And DJ Times did their part, and I've expressed this to the DJ world, and I'm so surprised that I don't have people ripping down my door. I almost want to give Mike this back, and I want to join the contest myself, because I got to tell you, it's wide open. It is a wide open contest. Of the entrants that are in there, I think only one person that's in the contest has even ever won a piece of the contest. There's no past winners thus far in the contest.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, there's no past winners. So there's one person who's even won a piece of the contest, and that's it. So we're going to have there's a lot of newbies, a lot of new people who've never been in it before. I'm very excited by what they sent me and told me they were going to do for the contest. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, because that's always a nice fresh take on stuff. But a pure amount is just I'm amazed. I would have thought I would have sold out 12 spots in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken a lot more. I've cajoled and twisted a few arms and said, why would you not want this? It's so cool. But we'll see. I honestly think, I thought before, I know Mike over the past has had trouble getting contestants at times, but I thought maybe he just didn't have the firepower behind him, and I've got the firepower behind me. And it's just, DJs are very nervous about performing in front of their peers. I'm very sad about that. I wish I could get across to more entertainers. I've been in the contest 3 times, and there is such a high of performing in front of your peers, because if you can rock your peers, if you can get your peers dancing and shaking it and laughing and being involved, when you go back to your events the following weekend, this is nothing.
Exactly.
I just rocked the hardest crowd in the world, and I'm shocked that more DJs don't want to take advantage of that opportunity. So,
Jake, now what type of performance could they do? Maybe if there's somebody out there who's like, I'd love to be involved, I just don't know. What are kind of different aspects of performance could they do on stage?
Well, there's original games that people might have, and I feel bad because I'm stretching the soup with some of my performers. I have people who are performing at my seminar and who are performing on Monday night and are also in the contest. So I think it's kind of, they have to come up with completely 3 different things, and I guess they'd save their very best thing for the contest on Wednesday. But you're asking a lot, I guess. There's so much to do. You can come up with an original game. You can come up with an original type of dance. And I don't want to say the word line dance, because there's so many different types of things. Betsy Fisher won a few years ago by coming up with a spin on doing the hora that was completely unique. I don't really consider the hora to be a line dance. So I've seen line dances over the last few years. Some of them have been really stunning in their coolness, where they start off as one thing and become something completely else, something completely different, where the lines will face each other and they'll interact with each other within the line dance itself. So there are no rules. You can have your standard kind of line dance, and then there's the tweeners. When people do things that are kind of in the middle there somewhere. Jack Bermia, who won last year, I'm still trying to figure out what that was he did. He won, but he like shot money out. It was part dance. It was part, crowd interaction. Um, Adam White's, when he won in 2010, he did a thing about what happens if the power goes out. How do you handle that emergency? And do you just sit there and say, well, power's out? Or do you do something about it? And he had this whole big production of what you do. So that's what I'm saying. For the entertainer of the year, it doesn't have to be either a game or a dance. It could be something completely original. It's just a matter of what you can think of. And, if I could think of really awesome things for everybody else, I'd probably be a millionaire. But trying to make it really cool.
Right. So basically anything that they would use to entertain a crowd that they could put into, is there a time limit now? Like a 5-minute time limit?
I like to keep the dances, and this is from Mike, and I like his timeline because the timing always seems to really run very well. Generally 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes for a dance, 10 to 12 for a game. Is usually probably the best time, because you only have the club for a certain amount of hours, and in that time we want to have you want to have time for everybody to come in and get relaxed. You want to have a halftime show. You want to have something before the end while we tabulate the scores. You want to have that big performance, and I'm proud to say that Big Daddy's going to be doing it this year again, so he'll be taking us home. And we're just going to have a great time with it. There's, like I said, I'm not looking to completely reinvent the wheel. There's certain things that have happened in this competition for years and years that are just fantastic.
Right.
And, you want to keep the fantastic things, and not even like it's all been fantastic. Everything that Mike has done, it's just, just doing a couple things, just presenting them differently. And, how we announce the winner at the end is completely different from how Mike's done it in the past. And there's some stuff like that I think are going to be some cool changes.
You mentioned earlier the prizes and such that are going to be. Is that something we can talk about, or is that something
actually, Evie, this is the one sad thing. Evie has these new speaker system, and they are showing it. The world premiere is happening at DJ Times, and they have agreed to make one of this new speaker systems one of the prizes.
Oh, nice.
Because they want to make it a big surprise, though. I don't know much about it, but I know that it's awesome, and it's one of the prizes. So somebody's going to walk away with something that didn't exist before DJ Times.
So for those of you who aren't familiar with it, this is the new Evie line array system that is a 3-piece. Basically, it's a subwoofer, 12-inch subwoofer. You've seen versions of this. The Bose is the first one who came out with this, but it's the little portable line array system. Evolve. Over the weekend, this information was started to drip out from Evie. So you probably haven't.
So you know more than I do.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly. So, and that's not only will we get to see them, but someone's going to walk away from DJ Expo. That alone, Jake, would be worth jumping into the contest for sure.
That one thing by far is the best prize. Probably if you added up all the prizes that have ever been given away at DJ Times for the winners of these contests, if you added them all up, it would not equal this one speaker system.
Yeah.
And if that isn't enough, you also get there's a Chauvet lighting system. They didn't tell me which one they're giving away, but they use the word lighting system. Which makes it sound like, maybe it's like one of those, 4 light bar, maybe. I really don't know. However, those, the word system is exciting to me. I like the word lighting system put together.
Yeah, I mean, they've got different, it could be some of their washed different things where they've got the multi. Yeah, there's just a lot of different things. Either way, any way you look at it, it's going to be something you're going to be able to use at your events.
Exactly. And, like I said, DJ Times stepped up and helped me a lot. And I really want to do right by them by having an amazing contest and showing them they were right to have faith in me. Monday night's also something I try to tell DJs, if you're nervous about Wednesday, perform on Monday. Mm-hmm. There's no pressure. You can get out there, lead a dance, lead a game, or do whatever you want. Monday night's a perfect place to get your feet wet. And I tell the competitors all the time, a smart move would be to perform on Monday night, because most of the judges are going to be in attendance, and it'll give you the opportunity to get out there and do something in front of your fellow DJs and get your feet wet, get yourself a little ready for Wednesday. Whether everybody takes that advice is up to them. But, for me, I think I remember performing on Monday before the contest, and I felt so much better going into the contest just from that experience.
Yeah, very nice. Good advice. We get people checking in from the UK, from Toronto, from Peter's up there. Peter's joined us right away and out on the East Coast there. So we got a lot of folks jumping in this morning. So thank you guys for joining us. We're just talking about the upcoming DJ Expo that's happening in 3 weeks from today. 3 weeks from today, we'll be getting ready for the Monday. The educational content will be going, I think, about this time, and getting ready for the Monday opening event. That's just going so quickly.
3 weeks. 3 weeks from today it starts.
Yeah.
So close.
Yeah, we're coming up quick. Oh, it's great stuff. And if you guys didn't get a chance to, if you're kind of wondering what DJ Expo is about and you're just joining the live feed now, when it's over, go back and catch the beginning part, because I had asked Jake a little bit about that, and he gave a wonderful little talk about what it meant to him and such. And Jake, the one line I'm going to take from this is that your shared experience factor, that concept was just a fabulous, because I've talked around that idea, trying to explain it, and the way you explained it was just gold. So
thank you. And it's true. I think that's the one thing that we all have in common, throughout the world of entertainment is, we've all been there. We've all seen crazy stuff happen at our events. And let me tell you, I mean, how many great conversations have you had with your fellow DJs when you say to them, you're not going to believe what happened at my party this weekend, and you tell them, and they get it. I tell my wife, and she's like, "Oh my God!" You tell a DJ, they get it, and they'll laugh because they know what you were thinking. They know what must have been going through your mind, and they're empathic. The empathy runs deep. I know what you were doing. I know what I would have done. It would have freaked me out too.
Oh, exactly.
Or I would have laughed like crazy. It's sometimes the funny stories are the best ones. If you tell somebody, if you tell a fellow DJ a story of something funny that happened at an event, the joy that you get out of that, because you know exactly what you'd be doing at the same time. And, there's so much that happens in the shared experience as far as what we do well and what we do badly. And, none of us are perfect. Mm-hmm. And some people have great ideas. So that's why I say with the Expo, take an opportunity to pick somebody's brain, go out to lunch with somebody, talk in the halls. The one thing, it's kind of funny, a lot of DJs are bumming about the shuttle bus going to and from the Tropicana to the Expo hall. Supposedly it's a 7-minute ride. And I've taken the completely different tact of, this isn't 7 more minutes to sit there with your fellow DJs right in a closed space. What are you going to do? You're going to talk about the seminars. You're going to talk about the things you saw in the exhibit hall. You're going to network, and you're going to talk about all the things that have happened that day. Hey, did you catch this seminar? What did you think? One of the things great about talking about a seminar, and I spend every year I go down with 3 of my friends and we get a suite. And we have a suite this year at the Tropicana.
Nice.
And, different one of us, this one might go to this seminar, or we might all go to the same seminar. But we all get together at the end of the day and we have a few drinks. Sometimes they're adult beverages. We all are adults. But one of the things we're saying is, what did you think of so-and-so seminar? And it amazes me sometimes how someone will pick up on something, a part of the seminar that was important to them that I never picked up on. And I'll have that light bulb moment after the seminar, because somebody talked about it in such a way, they turned it in such a way that I never thought to do. And that's why it's so important to network with people, because they will see things that you might not see. I just can't stress it enough. You need to share your experience with other people. And anybody who knows me in the business knows, you can tell I talk a lot, but I'm always willing to share pretty much everything. I'm a very transparent guy. I tell people what works for me, what doesn't work for me. I go on. And as a result from that, people share a lot with me too. And I can't believe how much I have gained from those experiences, from people just telling me stuff and giving me ideas. And, it has built my business. I didn't build my business because I'm just so wonderful. I built my business because other people were willing to share with me, share their experiences. I'm weak in sales. I'm weak as far as marketing. Those are not my strong points. I'm a performer. But because of the great tips I've gotten over the years and the seminars I've been to, I've been able to support my family with this. And I don't think I would have if I hadn't learned. It's just, I remember the very first phone call that I ever had, and I wish I'd recorded it because it was so bad, but I didn't know what to ask. I remember just fumbling over my words, talking to this girl saying, oh, well, I'm a really good DJ, and I'll get everybody dancing, and it won't be long. I'll play great music. I had no question. I had no idea to ask them where the party was and get them talking.
Yep.
I learned all this stuff from going to the. I literally hadn't even done my own event yet until I had gone to the expo, and I remember going to, I listened to a few seminars, and I heard how people talked. I asked questions, what do you say to people on the phone? And I wrote all this stuff down. And I made my very first, what I call a contact sheet. So when somebody calls, the things I need to ask them before I give them a price. And, so when somebody starts with that price, how much do you charge for a 4-hour party, blah, blah, blah. Instead of just saying, well, that will be X amount of dollars, I learned to say, well, that's wonderful. I'm so, thanks for calling. Just let me ask you a couple of questions. What kind of event are you having? Where is it? What are the hours? And get them talking a little bit about it. I didn't know to do that stuff.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing that networking got me to. And it's something as simple as that. Just how to answer the phone and say hello to people. That's how new to the business side of the business. I'd spent 17 years as a performer only and not a business person. So, now I'm decent on the business side, but
you mentioned earlier, of course, that when you first went, that you were kind of, I don't want to call it like you were on your own little island, but you really weren't interconnecting with other DJs.
Not at all.
So if you would just take that Jake then, and if that Jake would have never gone to and never been exposed to other DJs at DJ Expo, I mean, today you probably wouldn't be in the industry anymore because you probably had to get out and go get a supporting
Either
job.
I would have gone to work for someone else, or I'd be completely out of the business. That's how much DJ Expo has meant to me.
Yeah.
And the friends, because at the DJ Expo, that first expo, I made probably 8 or 9 really close friendships that I have to this day. I was just telling you guys that I room with, 2 of them are from that first expo. And the third one is a guy that I've gotten to know really well over the last 5 or 6 years or so. But, these friends, when they took me under their wing, I remember after the expo, we were all talking on the phone. We'd get together and we'd go out to lunches and dinners and we'd just talk shop, and it would be everything. And I couldn't believe there were people, and they're in my market. These aren't people from other states. These are my competitors.
Mm-hmm.
They're colleagues, and we can still talk about all this stuff, which is, in New Jersey, people tell me New Jersey is a very unusual state because they say DJs actually share with each other here in New Jersey. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I do hear from a lot of people that other states are not as willing to come forth and help each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very lucky in the fact that the people who I actually compete for parties with actually will help me with ideas for, events. And as a result, I've helped them at their company events. They've helped me at my company events. The networking's been outrageous. But again, you can't be a jerk.
Yeah.
You have to put yourself out there. Emotionally, spiritually, you have to be all in. There's so many people who I've talked to over the years who went, yeah, I went to DJ Times and, I looked around a little bit and, it really wasn't for me. And I feel bad for those people.
Yeah.
Because they did not put themselves out there.
Exactly. And there's such an opportunity to network, learn, just if nothing else, just that getting back to that shared experience thing, because you mentioned they understand, they get it, and I can share a quick little thing. Last Friday, street dance, it rains. I finished setting up, and 5 minutes after I'm done setting up, I get the beep on my cell phone that there's a nasty thunderstorm rolling in. Now I tell that story to my family, and they're like, "Oh, so you move stuff in?" I tell it to a DJ who I mentioned earlier that that it took me 2 hours to set the show up, and now all of a sudden I've got 15-minute notice that there's a storm coming. DJs are like, oh my, they understand.
the empathy. We're like, oh man. And you're like, in your head, you're like rolling wires and putting stuff on a cart.
Yeah, they can envision just because of it being an outdoor event, just how nasty those cables are going to be as you move and try to do this, and how much the guests are like, oh, we can help. What should we do? My family are like, yeah, you just picked it up, moved it, right?
Yeah, you can't, and they don't understand that there's a system to everything that you do.
That we do.
You have your own way, and I've noticed every DJ, I've worked with so many DJs over the years, everyone has their own way of either how they put the speakers in the bags, how they load their carts, how they roll their wires. Some people, use the Velcro strap. Some people just make it in a circle. Some people like roll it around their arms, and they're very particular.
Yes,
it has to be that way because that's how you remember that you have everything. I was on a boat last night and I did a boat wedding. It was in Weehawken, New Jersey, and it was a boat called the Majestic Princess. And if I talk to a DJ here in New Jersey, I mean, meaningless to you, but a DJ who's been on this boat knows that there is a lot of walking. You literally have to walk. I'm going to say to get from the street to the boat, close to 300 yards of pure walking on boards, boards that you go out and you make a left, and then you loading onto a boat is never fun. I mean, because you got gangways and it's tight corners, and they usually stick you in some little corner. And it's a great boat. I had a great time. But if I talk to a DJ that I was at the Majestic Princess and you're here, like they're oh man,
yeah, exactly.
The shared experience kicks in and like, oh, I've been there. The boat's great, but the load and oh man, it's and then it's funny. There's my friend Mike Weeder has a thing on Facebook called Venue, DJ Venue sharing. It's a closed group, and it's great for getting background information. Have you ever been at this event,
sure,
at this venue? And the questions, is insurance needed? How is the load in? Is there a loading dock? Where do you go in the room? How do you do all this stuff? I love information like that.
Yeah, that's that networking and sharing is one of the positive things the internet has brought to us, where we can do those things and share that. For those of you who are wondering more about DJ Expo, the link is in the descriptions below of both videos. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you just go down to the DJ Expo, I believe is what it is. Let me make sure on that. Oh, you know what? I don't have it in this one. I just have it in the Facebook one. Yeah, thedjexpo.com. We'll get that put in there, and you guys can click on that. And welcome party, what time does that kick off on Monday night?
I believe the welcome party is going to kick off about 8:30 or so on Monday night. I think they'll open the doors about 8, and we'll actually kick into the party. They actually, believe it or not, they haven't told me yet. One thing about DJ times, and I love them, but the schedule's not out yet. I'm guessing my seminar is going to be on Tuesday because it usually is, but I've always had the idea that I'm just going to go with the flow and do whatever I have to do, and I'll have fun doing it either way. I've been going there now and, doing my seminar and now doing this. If you let little details like that get to you, then you'll drive yourself crazy. And I want to be calm about the whole thing, but I'm looking forward to it. I'll tell you that. I'm really looking forward to it.
For sure. Man, I've got a couple of new people who are going to be attending for the first time, and they're like, what's the schedule? I want to make a plan. It's like, this is DJ Expo. We plan to be there from Monday till the end. And you
look at the schedule for 5 minutes, you should be able to map out what it is you want to go to.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not like you need, days of preparation, because there's usually only one or two things happening at one time. So it's a matter of, do I want to go to this seminar, that seminar, or do I want to hit the beach?
Yeah.
So,
or if you get stuck in the hallway and chatting and such, know when those times are where you can say, yes, I'm going to just kind of mill around here and hang out with, because again, that hallway.
Let's face it, you're at, and the Tropicana, you've got the beach outside. If something's not moving you, go to the beach. Maybe you could go gamble. Atlantic City's loaded with cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that every seminar that you go to is going to be a home run. That would be amazing if you could. And I've actually had years where that's been the case, but you don't want to guarantee anything like that. I can guarantee that the Monday night and Wednesday night will be very entertaining. I'm going to do my part to make sure it's fun. And I have a co-host I didn't have the last time I talked to you. My co-host is Micah Leveris. He owns Hudson Valley DJs in New York. I actually have somebody co-hosting with me who's not part of my company, but is a really good friend of mine. And we talk DJing. We talk shop all over the place, and we're always throwing game ideas at each other and interactive ideas. So when I got the role of this, I knew I wanted him, but his wife is pregnant, and I didn't know if he'd get the go ahead from his wife. But she was nice enough to let him play. Nice. I do have one of my own guys. My DJ Chris will be acting as the DJ for the night, and I think when he sees the sound system he's going to get to play through, he's going to be pretty thrilled.
He'll be excited.
It's looking really amazing.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. That's really a lot of fun. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the link is down below. You can go click on that, go check out the DJ Expo, and we will see you if you are coming in about 3 weeks. Jake, thank you very much for your time this morning.
You're welcome, John. Thanks for having me, and everyone out there, I look forward to seeing you.
All right, gang, we'll see you this evening with our regular Monday night show tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern. Actually, 9:30 we'll be coming on with Big Daddy for a little while tonight, so a little bit earlier tonight. We'll catch you there. Good night, everyone.
He loves you.
Yeah, bye.